Let us continue. Bangu! Up and right, Mr. Naruhodo. After them, go! Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry! I'm like, who's talking? Is this still narration or are we just... Okay. Ooh, this in HD. It's Gina. With that gun in her hands. From that moment, Windybank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. The 16th of April, 6:21 a.m., Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Hello, Iris. Oh, Iris.
A telegram came, but all it said was, "Wait at home."
Oh, yes. We asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back.
When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Jeannie were gone. Everyone was gone.
Oh God, that would scare anyone.
What happened, Bruno?
Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know.
Something awful has happened, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windybank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, yes, I had a feeling.
You did?
Well, I saw all those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there.
When we entered Windybank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. We ran out onto the street and I chased after them, but they got away.
So, it was one of them who shot old Windybank, I suppose.
I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at this moment.
Oh? Why not?
They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina.
Ginny? But why?
Well, the thing is...
No, Jeannie wouldn't do something like that.
I know. None of us think she did it.
Then why had they arrested her?
I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do.
So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals.
Oh, sorry, Iris, but, I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes.
Huh?
He was taken to the hospital this morning.
What?
Well, when we entered Windybanks, a gun was fired and he took a bullet.
Hurley? Was shot? No.
It's alright. His life isn't in danger. Goes my dog.
Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital?
He's at St. Sinner's. They're tending to him there. St. Sinner's?
I must see him at once.
I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't.
Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed.
No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see.
To operate?
This is too much for a 10-year-old to take in.
Oh, poor Hurley.
I bet she has bad dreams of waking up and finding herself all alone too, so her waking up in real life and finding no one around must have terrified her. It was the two thugs who were in Mr. Windybank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them! Go! After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away.
I think that's a very good thing.
Sorry?
Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Runo. On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that.
Oh! Oh, Iris.
Where's Susie, Runo?
She's still at the police station.
Oh, why?
I expect she's still being questioned. The police said they wouldn't be finished for a while.
Why aren't you there then?
Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Miss Osato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later.
Ah, I see.
Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early. Thanks, Gregson!
You should have let me know. I would have come to the station.
No, Iris, you better stay where you were.
I don't understand why they arrested Jeannie. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they?
No, I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris.
Oh, this is all so horrible.
The thing is, Mr. Windybank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside.
I see.
But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well.
Oh no!
And according to the detectives who investigated afterwards...
Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room.
Yes, exactly. How did you know?
It's the only explanation.
Yes, the only explanation indeed. I don't remember how we got to reveal how it happened when we go into the trial. So, this is gonna be a bit of a refresher for me.
What do you mean by that, Runo? Well?
Ugh, what can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment, but I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on.
I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting.
I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder, but I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me.
Oh yes, I'd love to.
Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed. Probably! He might be walking around the hallway.
And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation.
I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. Okay, now we can properly examine the shovel and the spade. That spade has been in here since we started renting the place.
Runo, that's not a spade, it's a shovel.
You're a shoveler, are you? I had a feeling you'd pick me up on that.
Oh no, a pick is something else entirely.
Now I've dug myself into an even deeper hole. It's spring at last, and the weather is warmer now. But I love the smell of the fire and the steam rising from the kettle.
Oh, how about some tea, Runo?
Thanks, Iris, but I'm alright for now. With the green tea Susato-san makes me from time to time and Iris' unique herbal infusions, this place is paradise for a true tea lover.
If you're sure, You know I always have plenty whenever you feel thirsty.
So this is the tea set that Mrs. Sato brought with her from Japan. Let's hope she hasn't noticed me slipping sugar and milk into my cup when she makes it. It's just so bitter.
Susie's lovely green tea has had quite an impact on Hurley, you know. He stopped putting milk and sugar in his coffee even. And Hurley is normally bitterly opposed to bitterness.
Okay, he likes green tea. Good to know. We've only been here in London for about 2 months, but my desk is starting to look a little messy already.
Hurley's desk is far worse, you know.
I'm sure if I try hard enough, I can make my desk as messy as Mr. Sholmes. Why? Why, Naruhodo?
Huh, I wonder.
You don't think I can?
Well, it takes a certain genius to reach that level of disorder, you know?
Huh. The path to true mess is long and arduous, it seems. This conversation. Ah, the Daruma doll I brought with me from home. Still with only one eye colored in. I'd said I'd color the other eye once I won my first court case here in Britain, but...
That's cruel. Only letting it have one eye.
Yes, but it's because I don't consider myself a good enough lawyer yet, you see? Once I become a fully fledged lawyer, Mr. Sato will color in the other eye for me.
Well, in that case, why not color in the other eye now? And then every time you win a new case, give it an extra eye. You can never have too many eyes, you know?
Call me crazy, but I never considered that. Oh my god, this is so good. I'm glad that we're like looking at everything again while Iris is here.
Oh, this looks like a telegram.
It is, but you mustn't open it. Not under any circumstances.
Alright, I won't. Now then, let's see.
No! What did I just say? You mustn't open it.
Don't worry, I won't.
You have x-ray goggles?
With this special concoction I've developed, I'll be able to see through the envelope without having to open it.
No, that's not allowed either.
Oh, but I'm sure it's something important.
Little geniuses can be mischievous. More so than Naruhodo. We were rather lucky to find that old aquarium left behind here. The prawns we put in there are doing rather well, and the anemones too.
Apparently, tanks like those were very popular in London before I was born.
Oh, you mean they're not anymore?
I think people discovered it was just too much effort to clean them out and change the water all the time.
I can believe that. Prawns and anemones are fun. For a while. Do you know, I've never seen inside Miss Susato's room. I haven't so much as put my head around the door.
Oh, Susie often invites me up. It's so much fun.
Really? What's her room like?
I can't tell you that.
Oh.
A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know?
Where have I heard that before? I suppose some things are the same the world over. Okay. Next thing I have to hit is the blackboard. But we can examine everything else while Iris is here. The fire's burning comfortably in the grate again today. It's very different feeling to a Japanese hibachi somehow.
Hurley's been working on his disguises recently. He's been dressing as a woman, mainly.
Really? Mr. Sholmes dresses in women's clothes?
Yes! You see the lady in that photographic print on the mantelpiece? That's Hurley!
Oh! That's not Irene Adler? Whoa! He's quite stunning. Oh my god! Okay then! These are all mementos of Mr. Sholmes' past cases, I think. If he'd been involved in my cases, I wonder if the beefsteak from La Carnival would be on display here.
Hurley says that Waggy is a memento too.
What? How?
He tried really hard to get the little fellow to stay on those shelves at first.
Wagahai's a real cat.
But he had to give up in the end. Waggy just wouldn't sit still.
Yes, funny that. It's almost as if it's alive or something. That's a charming little white shelf, and full of charming little bottles, too. But the contents of them aren't quite so charming, it seems.
I'm so close now. I've nearly developed a rainbow smoke grenade, you know?
So you're still working on those colorful but funny explosive, are you?
I tell you what, when I've perfected it, I'll fire the first shot at you, Runo.
What an honor. This is where you note down ideas, isn't it, Iris? Let's see. What does it say today? Ah, the Boscombe Valley Mystery.
We visited Boscombe Valley recently for a picnic, you see, but I forgot to bring the tea. So when Hurley became thirsty, he decided to drink from Boscombe Pool. He gave himself an awful tummy ache.
Oh dear.
Hurley sat there miserable as can be in that field of flowers after that, just like when you saw him yesterday.
That really is an unsavory tale. Alright, that's the blackboard, so I think I'm done. Everything else is during the trial now. Your beautiful tea set is there on the table as usual. A cup of one of your special herbal blends always helps me to relax when I'm feeling the strain.
Well, Hurley, he hasn't had a drop of tea today. I wish I could take some to the hospital for him.
Come to think of it, I haven't seen you doing much writing recently, Iris. But there's paper already set up in the typewriter, I noticed. As if you're about to start.
I'm a little bit stuck for a new story idea, actually.
Well, you could consider using what happened to Mr. Natsume, perhaps?
Oh, yes, that's a fabulous idea, and a great title has just popped into my head as well. The Adventures of a Catty Man. How's that, Runo?
I don't think Soseki agrees, but sure. You know, if he was here. It's an unusual way to make use of a huge metal chest as a table for tea and coffee. But it is a very sturdy box, and I've noticed that it's always locked.
Ah, well, that's because that box contains some of my most important things.
Which you have no intention of telling me more about, judging from that guarded smile. Look at Mr. Sholmes' desk. It's completely clear. It looks totally different without that enormous machine on it.
Hurley lives in an absolute mess all the time. He never notices when things go missing.
Even Mr. Sholmes must have noticed that huge lump of metal is no longer there, surely. There's all sorts on these shelves. Chemistry apparatus, books, papers, and lots of things I've never seen before. It's all heaped up so high, I can't help feeling that the whole lot is going to topple at any moment.
Yes, Hurley does tend to overload the shelves.
That's one way of putting it.
He wanted to look something up in one of those books the other day, you know? But it was so tightly crammed in, he gave up and went out to buy a brand new copy instead.
Surely. Now this really is Mr. Sholmes' faithful performing partner then. The Stradivar. The Stravidar. The Strappy Scar. The Scrappifarius? No, it's no good. It's gone. The virtuoso violin that he found in a pawnbroker's and managed to buy for next to nothing.
I hope Hurley gets well soon. I miss hearing his violin playing already.
Oh, Iris. I'm sure he will. Alright, I think that's everything, right? We can move? Okay, we're gonna move. Let's go to the hospital first. Iris really wants to make sure Sherlock is okay. Herlock! 16th April, St. Sinner's Hospital, Ward 3.
Hurley! Oh! He's not here.
No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't he? This is Herlock, though.
Oh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home.
I'm not so sure about that, baby or not. There's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered.
Oh.
Hello, what are we here? This ward is off limits, no visiting. So what are you doing in here, eh?
Well, I have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin.
Eh? Oh, well, begging your pardon, ma'am. A little lady and a curious Eastern gentleman. A great mystery solver as a mysterious family, eh? If that's how you see us, sure.
Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley?
I believe he's currently in the operating theater, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation.
Extensive?
It has been several hours since he went in.
Oh dear. Is he going to be alright?
Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is.
Oh!
I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he may have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is. Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet. I see. Thank you, Constable. Perhaps we should leave and come back later.
Oh, poor Hurley.
I'm sure he's fine. Oh, can I examine stuff in here? Cool. Alright, let's examine stuff. Whoop, whoop. There's a notice board on the wall here. Look. Let's see. What does it say? Thought of the day. On seeing any vermin, calmly and discreetly inform matron.
Oh yes, they have rats and mice in hospitals like this that love to feast on all the medicine. If you don't deal with them, there's nothing left to treat the patients.
Why is the medicine so tasty that the rats and mice will eat them? Rats and mice? Oh, I see. This is a rather old building, I suppose.
But the doctors and nurses are all very good, I hear.
I certainly hope so, for Mr. Sholmes' sake. This must be Mr. Sholmes' bed.
Poor Hurley.
I know. It looks as stiff as a board, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't think that will bother him.
No?
I often find him asleep face down on the floor, completely dead to the world.
I think I'd call the police if I discovered someone like that. I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea, Iris?
Oh, haven't you seen crutches before? Let me explain. They're for people with leg injuries, to help them walk. You hold one under each arm, you see?
Oh, right. I thought they were weapons of some sort.
Why would there be weapons in a hospital?
I thought maybe a fighter had been injured in a battle contest and been brought here along with his weapons.
That's surprisingly plausible.
I love Naruhodo. Alright, how about we go see Gina then? The 16th of April, local prison, cell 13. Hi, Gina! Hang in there. Hello, Gina. They let you keep that in prison? I'm surprised they didn't confiscate it.
Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made.
I wish he wouldn't point it at me all the time, though. What are you here for?
Jeannie?
I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you. Well, you can't. Sorry? You heard? Get lost.
Don't be like that, Jeannie. I know you didn't do it. You never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't.
You think you know me? Fool the other one.
Oh.
They ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Gina, so stop with the tough act. Just to see what I could lay me hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am.
But Jeannie...
I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one. She couldn't be staring at me any more obviously if she tried.
Why are you being like this, Genie?
But look at my armband! Would you have a look at, That's strange. Where's my armband gone? Oh, she stole it again. Okay. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender away? Why is she such a soon?
He wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway. The whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do. Why do you think that? Because that's how it's always been for me, growing up in the back slums me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell you, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers. Or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled. On the back of it. You can't trust no one. That's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass. Dead.
Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could...
Forget it! Genie! Don't you trust Runo?
Nah, I don't.
Look, I asked you nicely now. Just leave me alone.
Don't be like this, Jeannie. Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night, at the pawnbroker's.
There's nothing to tell. I figured it paid me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me and you know the rest.
That seems like a lie, but okay.
But why, Jeannie? Why would you do that?
Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two.
Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing.
Is that really why you broke into the place?
What?
Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else?
Oh, give it a rest. What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Jeannie. We'll believe you, whatever it is.
Believe me?
Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everybody lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
Gina? What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you told are? Maybe we can help.
Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Jeannie, please. Oh yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by.
What? What? A cat and a snowman? A photographic print of a really adorable cat.
I found it in one of the pockets of this coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat.
Can I look at it?
Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Jeannie.
White cat photograph. A photograph depicting a sweet little white cat, obtained from Gina while interviewing her in her prison cell. What the heck is this? Can I look at it? This is an adorable little cat. I think it looks a little like Wagahai. I always thought that cats like to curl up inside under the heated kotatsu blanket when it snowed. Maybe British cats are different. Yes, maybe they are. Whoa! Look on the back of this print here. There's something written on it.
13th of February, 9 p.m. Article deposited, 1 small box. Loan amount paid, 10 shillings. Redemption deadline, 13th of April, 9 p.m.
So this photographic print is a redemption ticket.
13th of February? Huh, that could be significant. It's just 2 days before the murder on the omnibus, wasn't it?
A small box. That doesn't tell us much about it, does it?
Bruno, if Mr. McGilded still had the ticket, then presumably he never redeemed the article. So do you think the box might still be present somewhere in the shop?
Yes. If it's something McGilded deposit, we need to investigate. Okay, but there are a lot of small boxes. A redemption ticket issued from the pawnbrokery owned by the victim, Mr. Winniebank, in the form of some handwritten notes on the back of a photograph. I know at some point, I guess we're gonna use this picture to do the 3D gimmick, but the small box, I definitely already know what we need. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna actually get it, so. Ooh. There's still a Scotland Yard carriage outside Windybanks.
I never imagined we'd be investigating a case so close to home.
Poor Iris. She's very upset by all this. I'm sorry. I was there. I should have done more. Not in the game, no. You literally have to physically cross-eye yourself, I think, at this point.
None of this is your fault, Bruno, so please don't apologize.
They didn't put any kind of system in to like cause the 3D effect. It's really just trapped to the 3DS now. But
It's the criminals who are to blame for all this. So let's investigate and work out how to catch them.
Yes, you're right. It's already been 2 months that we've been taking lodgings here above Mr. Sholmes' office. I still can't quite believe it. I never expected things would turn out like this. Oh! I think the scene's supposed to come up at some point during this investigation, when Susato comes back.
When Hurley comes back home, let's have a big party.
That's a great idea. I'm sure it won't be long. Mr. Sholmes is very tough.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. 16th April, Windybanks Pawnbrokery. God, I love that. It's just a small thing, but I appreciate that copper just walking through the store. You know, it's just a small thing, but it adds so much to the background.
This is where it happened then. Last night.
That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place, looking for valuables.
But apart from the policemen in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance.
No, you're right about that. Actually.
In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking.
I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals, all dressed in black. Oi, I heard that! Hi, Gregson! Oh, Inspector. Good morning. Huh. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that.
I thought you'd assign extra men to the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look what happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty.
Young ladyship! No one told me you were coming! Surprise!
I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care.
Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak.
And I don't think it's Runo's fault that the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job.
Holy crap, Iris is talking him down! Talking him down! Absolutely, your ladyship.
As you say, ma'am, as you say. The jet in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that.
Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change.
Oh, where are my manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice. Some nice, refreshing fruit juice.
Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Grexy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me, if you'd like some.
Ah, lovely. Very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
I don't even recognize him like this. Me neither! I'm so confused. Who are you and what have you done with Gregson?
Have my armband.
Inspector Gregson, could you give your opinion about this, do you think?
We don't tend to share our sunshine, not with the general public. Ugh.
In that case, Grexy, how about some herbal tea?
Ah, lovely. Very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
You don't mind sharing that, then? Let's talk. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector?
Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact.
Gina? You're gonna charge her?
That's right. She'll be able to bring her before the judge at the Baileys tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid...
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the...
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
How could you... How? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me never to try and keep secrets from Iris. So you arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you?
Well, yes, they were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat.
And Miss Lestrade is being held at prison?
She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course.
Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition?
Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Well, I know he's being operated at St. Sinner's. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know?
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all.
Oh,
The bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He lost a fair bit of blood.
oh no.
He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down.
Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know.
Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding.
But will he be alright? He will be alright, won't he? You'll be able to make him better?
Oh, of course, your ladyship. He'll be right as rain before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
Eh? How do I know? Well, because of course. Ah, yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective. That's why.
Gregson, you're killing me. You better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley.
He's 70% human tops.
I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater.
I couldn't help noticing, Inspector.
What? Out with it, sunshine.
Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris.
Watch the sauce, Sonny. I'm a cuppa and we don't get in for favoritism. We don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
Bark, bark goes my dog. It's 'cause of those Adventures of Sholmes stories. That's why.
Oh,
I crop up in 'em, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
Oh, well, yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
what did you write about the inspector, Iris?
Huh? Oh, I don't remember, really.
It was one of Sholmes' lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh? The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you.
Oh, that's amazing.
All because everyone at the yard reads them. They'll read all the Sholmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me. Wow.
Of course! That explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it takes is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No, the great detective, you say. He's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Greg C.
Every month when the new Rands magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
How much tea is in that? Like, just give him the whole canister at this point.
Oh, lovely. Ta very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
Teetotal.
Oh, yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes? What is it?
I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it until now.
An important message? I wonder what it could be. Who has this message for me? Hello? Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector?
Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side. Your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she all right?
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe.
Nope, not anymore. She had to head off.
Head off? Where? Chief Justice, I'm believing.
To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her.
Yes, of course. I've forgotten about that.
One of the whipstocks took her there in the yard carriage after we finished questioning her. But she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. Oh. She's got a nerve, using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service.
I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go to see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I better head over to Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. I don't think we can look at anything else for now, until we have Susato?
All right, then. Let's see what we can uncover.
Oi, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here.
Oh, but we were hoping to investigate.
This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching.
What's the problem, Gregsy? Bruno's a lawyer. You know that.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship. Ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naro was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter.
The accused?
If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around.
Oh, now I have to talk to Gina.
Did you hear that, Bruno? You need Jeannie to sign some representation papers.
It looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Alright then, we cannot investigate, so let's go get Susato. I hope things are okay. The 16th of April, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Yes, no matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
place is oppressive. I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regards to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow? There they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Hello? Ah! Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san!
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? Oh dear.
Tomorrow? But what about Jeannie's trial?
You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. Well, things are complicated. Miss Susato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan. Your life here can continue just as...
That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill. Oh no!
Professor Mikatoba. If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikatoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yuma University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker day by day.
I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely. Oh.
I will leave London first thing tomorrow morning.
I can't believe this is happening. We got 3 trials under our belt, Naruhodo. It's fine. We'll be fine. Here, look at the armband, Susato.
It means a great deal to me, you know? That you cherish this armband so, and wear it each time you appear in court.
Is this lines I've already read? Okay, I've already read this. Bye-bye. Can I examine stuff with Iris? Those giant suits of armor are still facing each other menacingly across the room.
I just can't understand why anyone would wear things like that in battle. They must be so heavy.
I expect you'd invent some special lightweight suit if it was down to you, wouldn't you, Iris?
Huh. I think if it was me, I'd invent a world where people didn't need to fight each other in the first place.
Dang! That's deep. Iris, you're a champion. You are!
Well, what do you think? That was a model answer, wasn't it?
She's 10, Ryunosuke. 10. And she's leading you around by the nose. God, that's so good!
Oh, I've always dreamt of sitting at a huge desk like that and looking important.
Why don't you try it then? Discreetly, of course.
Alright, I will. Tell me how I look. Well, Runo, what do you think?
A little too discreet.
I can't even see you. That seems extremely likely for Strongheart to do. That seems like something he would do. Oh, that's horrible.
Oh my goodness! Just look at all these books!
Yes, there are books about the judicial systems of all different Western nations.
Huh. Even for someone like me, it would take at least 10 days to read all of these.
Little Big Boss Iris. Just 10 days?
Oh, I was only joking, Runo. I thought it would be fun to play up my genius.
It's scarily believable with you. That's the trouble. Yeah.
I love clocks and their mechanisms, don't you? The way all the hundreds of pieces fit together and work as one to move the hands of a single timepiece.
Yes, I can imagine clocks are just your cup of tea.
When I was little, I used to dream of one day living inside a clock, you know?
And you must be envious of the Lord Chief Justice, having his office in a place like this, I suppose.
Huh. No, not really.
Oh,
Well, I mean, that's a dream for when you're little. It'd be silly now.
Iris, you're 10! Don't let Lord Strongheart hear you talking like that. Look, when you're a grown-ass adult and you have money, you can do whatever the heck you want.
So Gina has been charged. So she'll have to appear in court?
Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later?
Gina! Ah, the Lestrain girl, and the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too transpicious case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases. This is not an open and shut case.
It's not wasting time. Jeannie would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave, now.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Man, you tell her to leave, but like, in one of the later cases in the second game, Iris is just chilling out in his office. Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more criminals are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. "3 minutes precisely until our next meeting. You must excuse me." There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart. Which is? It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her? A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork, and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. Why would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. What a day. Gina charged with murder, Susato-san about to leave.
This is so much. That best favor can't stop me because I can't read. She can't! She actually can't at this moment.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo, Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do?
As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. That's a very pensive look.
I think we ought to visit Gina first. In any case, I should like to wish her well before I leave. Yes, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go.
If I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can, as a lawyer. Okay, let's go to the prison. We need to get those papers signed. 16th April, local prison, cell 13. Ah! Hello again, Gina. Gina, please!
What are you lot here for now?
To have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our face yet again, obviously.
Huh, I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition into that thing, don't I?
Look, you can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you.
Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Farewell.
Huh? Farewell?
Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again.
Oh, right.
I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie.
Well, that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe in you to be innocent, Gina. They put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right, I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
What? It's my fault?
Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Huh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
Oh, wow. That's a challenge, Susato. What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You told us that everyone lies. So prove it by admitting one of your own untruths.
Dang, Susato!
What about what you said before, Jeannie? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant.
No, I can't. Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? The one in which Magnus McGilda was acquitted. The case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about? Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe. Will you tell us about it now? Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got a hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand. And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent. Yeah, well, the thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff. I knew it. What sort of things did you lie about? I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth. It was pitch black in that little cubbyhole. I couldn't see a thing, and then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor. That's when Mr. McGilded discovered you? Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There wasn't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had the cub's blood all over them. I was so scared. I couldn't even speak. You had his blood on your hands. In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight. Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all. What do you mean? I mean, he threatened me. Threaten you how? He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I heard. About what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the coppers show up. Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw, what you heard, everything. Oh, there's 3 of them now. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. You said McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in pitch black compartment, under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud in the cove, hitting the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by me arm, and that's when I saw it. Hello! Elsa, thank you. I will drink in a moment. I was on the floor next to the old geezer. What had been stabbed? A disc, all bright and shiny. A disc? Do you mean... Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Windy Banks. Oh my god, sorry. So the music box disc was there, on the floor of the omnibus. Not for long. McGill spotted it right straight away. He picked up Smarties and stuff and stuffed it inside his pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago, at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder. And the bog trotter told me. I want to mutter a word of it to no one. Oh my goodness, there's so much to unpack. Case 5 is literally a continuation of Case 3. Because it was so dark under the seat in the cab, I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps outside the cabin. Presumably that was McGilded getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh. 'Cause I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people. So they went in together. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride.
Well, whenever I'm in a carriage, I take with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it.
And your own testimony, Gina, supported his.
All I could hear was this Irishman snoring.
Yeah, that wasn't exactly true.
Oh boy.
Neither of them was sleeping. I could hear him talking the whole time, in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilda and the victim knew each other.
So Miss McGilda was lying, as I suspected.
I knew it wasn't going to take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGilda told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two coves from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right. And after they gone, McGilda asked the driver to do him a favor.
A favor? Oh no, Beppo's part of this too!
Now then, fella. What I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. I'll give ye 10 guineas.
A nearby pawnbroker?
You mean on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It was Windybanks. The coachee snapped up the money and ran off to pop his coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilda opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there. But not without conditions. I see.
What were McGilda's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean.
Not telling a soul. Not for anything. About what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well.
There's more?
Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said.
Ooh, I like this illustration.
I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked him for him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye, the fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with the pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. And I'll come fetch it from ye later, sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it until then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. All right, then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windybank so it is, and you're to extend the loan after the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited, and any old fiend could come along and buy it. Huh? But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If you go all against me. Yeah, I get it. Good. One more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. The coppers? Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that ye might say, and what is it that you won't?
Damn! Ooh.
After he'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. Eat the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark.
So McGilda planned it.
and coerce Gina into giving false testimony. Man, I can't blame you, Gina. I really can't. I totally understand your position.
I bet you're ready to string me up, eh?
Why? You were kind of forced.
I lied. In that big old courtroom, I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with.
What a wicked man.
He knew everything, what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us, and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together.
So you mean Mr. McGilded would have...
In a heartbeat, he could have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where could we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. Huh. If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. You what?
Hurley's having a big operation right now, Jeannie.
Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it? Something like that. Mrs. Sato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here.
I got you, Gina. I got you.
I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer, nothing.
Well, you may not, but I do. Naruhodo's got you.
Poor Jeannie. She seems so lonely.
Gina's representation papers. The paperwork signed by Gina to put me in charge of her defense. Showing this to Scotland Yard's detective gains us access to the crime scene. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windybanks now.
Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Jeannie when we're done there.
I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She'd opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windybanks. Although, something tells me he's not gonna be happy about it. Do I get another to be continued? Wow! Another to be continue! Holy crap! How many to be continues are there for the investigation? Jeez! Oh my goodness! Well then, I'll just take